out. The morning fog clings to the trees as Bryson laces up his hiking boots, anticipation prickling every nerve. The Appalachian Trail stretches endlessly before him, a ribbon of green and brown winding through misted valleys and jagged ridges. Each step into the forest is a commitment, a surrender to the unknown. Bryson feels the thrill of possibility. Adventure lies ahead, but danger whispers in every rustle of leaves and snap of twigs. He is joined by Katz, a companion as unpredictable as the path itself. Their dynamic is immediately apparent. Bryson, meticulous and cautious; Katz, impulsive and irreverent. The contrast between them creates both tension and humor. As they begin their trek, the trail tests them from the first mile. Roots and rocks conspire to trip their feet, and unexpected elevation changes force them to pause and catch their breath. The beauty is undeniable, but it is laced with the reminder that ambition always carries risk. Scenes unfold cinematically, sunlight filtering through dense canopies, dew-laden spiderwebs trembling in the morning light, and distant peaks shrouded in mist. Each moment is sensory smells of damp earth, the snap of branches underfoot, the call of a far-off bird. Bryson feels small against the grandeur of nature, yet compelled to continue. The audience sees him step forward with both eagerness and hesitation, every stride a mixture of courage and uncertainty. Here, the trail becomes more than dirt and foliage. It is a crucible. The adventure promises exhilaration and hardship in equal measure. Bryson and Katz's journey begins not with certainty, but with choice. The choice to face the unknown, to embrace discomfort, and to follow ambition into a landscape that tests every limit of body, mind, and spirit. Katz appears suddenly at the next clearing, waving with a grin that hides exhaustion. Their relationship becomes the heartbeat of the Trek One, grounded in humor, tension, and unexpected loyalty. The trail exposes every human flaw: impatience, stubbornness, clumsiness, and occasional selfishness. Bryson's meticulous planning clashes with Katz's improvisation, leading to minor quarrels and sudden laughter. Their friendship is a chaotic rhythm, a blend of irritation and camaraderie. The forest itself reflects the unpredictability of human connection. Thick undergrowth hides twisted roots that trip one hiker while the other bounds ahead. Rainstorms turn paths into muddy mazes, forcing cooperational competition for survival. Nights in shelters or under tarps become testing grounds for patience, as snoring, bug bites, and shared fears magnify both irritation and dependence. Even small gestures, a cup of tea, a shared joke, a helping hand over a slippery rock, carry enormous weight. Visuals are cinematic. Golden evening light over a mossy ridge, shadows stretching as fog curls around distant peaks, and laughter echoing in quiet forest hollows. The audience witnesses the interplay of personalities amplified by isolation and challenge. Each day on the trail brings a new scenario, unexpected detours, encounters with wildlife, or sudden weather shifts that pushes their companionship to the limit. Amid chaos, moments of clarity emerge. Bryson realizes that the unpredictability of Katz is not a hindrance, but a mirror of the trail itself. Their shared mistakes, near misses, and victories reveal the human capacity for resilience, trust, and connection. The forest becomes a crucible not just of endurance, but of intimacy. Bryson and Katz are bonded by their shared risk, their laughter a defiance against exhaustion, and their silent understanding of danger. Their journey is a living tapestry of chaos and companionship, setting the stage for both personal growth and the unforeseen trials that lie ahead. The Appalachian Trail is no ordinary path. Bryson and Katz discover that ambition alone cannot shield them from its trials. Days stretch endlessly under the weight of sun and humidity. Steep ascents leave them gasping, legs trembling, muscles screaming with every step. River crossings challenge balance and courage, while treacherous descents demand focus and calculation. Each mile is a lesson in endurance. Bryson records the rhythm of their struggle, the steady thump of boots on packed earth, the splash of water as they ford streams, the quiet cursing when a pack tips and supplies scatter. Their ambition to conquer sections of the trail, to document the journey, to survive is constantly tested. Exhaustion breeds mistakes, twisted ankles, lost gear, and navigational errors. The risk is tangible. Every slip could cascade into disaster. Tension is heightened by environmental unpredictability. Sudden storms transform paths into mudslides. Bears, snakes, and swarming insects remind them that nature cannot be controlled. Each encounter carries suspense, making the viewer feel the precariousness of their journey. Cinematic visuals abound. Clouds gathering over jagged ridges, sun shafts piercing forest canopy, a river reflecting the turbulent sky above. Even as the trail pushes their physical and mental limits, the human spirit shines through. Bryson and Katz find rhythm in routine, solace in quiet observation, and strength in persistence. Each step forward is a victory over both terrain and inner doubt. The audience sees the delicate dance between ambition and humility, risk and perseverance. In these trials, the Appalachian Trail emerges not as a passive backdrop, but as an active character, relentless, unpredictable, and transformative. The forest grows denser, a cathedral of towering oaks and whispering pines. Every step forward feels like stepping deeper into the unknown. Bryson and Katz are humbled by the wildness around them, sunlight filtering through mist, the haunting call of a distant hawk, the sudden rustle of unseen creatures in undergrowth. The trail no longer feels like a trail. It is a living organism, pulsing with unpredictability. A river blocks their path, swollen from recent rains. Katz plunges first, slipping and splashing in icy water, laughter mingled with panic. Bryson hesitates, heart pounding, watching the current tug at the rocks beneath Katz's boots. The encounter embodies both danger and beauty, nature's challenge and her grandeur simultaneously. Each animal sighting deer leaping through morning fog. A snake coiled silently on a rock minds them that they are outsiders, intruding upon a domain older and wiser than any human ambition. Night brings new tension. They camp beneath towering trees, tent stakes sinking into soft soil. Insects hum, owls hoot, and distant howls pierce the darkness. Fear creeps in not of the human, but the wild. Every shadow is a question, every rustle a mystery. Yet awe persists. Bryson scribbles observations, absorbing the minute details, the way sunlight dappled water sparkles like liquid gold, the smell of damp pine needles, the cold bite of early morning air. These encounters etch themselves onto memory, vivid and immediate. The audience feels the duality of emotion, terror and wonder intertwined. Cinematic shots unfold, mist hugging the treetops, a river tumbling over rocks, close-ups of moss-laden branches dripping water like slow-motion jewels. Nature asserts dominance and beauty, forcing Bryson and Katz to adapt, respect, and sometimes stumble. It is in these moments that the Appalachian Trail reveals its true lesson. The human spirit is fragile yet resilient, awe-inspiring yet tested, and only through engagement with the natural world can its depth be fully understood. By the fifth day, exhaustion has etched itself into every joint. Bryson's meticulous plans falter under fatigue. Katz's impulsive decisions cause minor catastrophizer dropped backpack, a misplaced map, a misjudged river crossing. Yet laughter becomes a lifeline. Humor emerges as the unexpected glue binding them together against adversity. A sudden storm drenches them in minutes. Katz, soaked to the bone, jokes about turning into a human puddle. Bryson can only groan, shivering, but cannot suppress a laugh. Humor transforms hardship into story, fear into camaraderie. The audience experiences these moments cinematically. Rain splattering against tents, muddy boots sliding, lightning illuminating terrified yet laughing faces. The tension of the storm contrasts with the levity in their reactions, amplifying both fear and relief. The trail tests not just bodies but nerves and pride. Arguments flare over navigation, rationed food, or the proper pace. Yet every quarrel dissolves into shared absurdity, slipping on moss-covered rocks, mispronouncing trail names, or mistaking harmless animals for threats. These comedic beats are vital. They humanize the adventurers, reminding viewers that resilience is as much emotional as physical. Nighttime conversations deepen the bond. Bryson and Katz sit by firelight, recounting past follies, dreams deferred, or regrets buried. Humor becomes medicine, bridging distance created by exhaustion and discomfort. The audience sees that survival on the Appalachian Trail is as much about maintaining human connection as avoiding hypothermia or injury. Through laughter, Bryson and Katz endure, discovering that joy can coexist with hardship and that the absurdity of life often carries its own wisdom. Cinematically, the forest transforms into a stage where risk, beauty, and comedy interplay. Shadows dance, raindrops glint, and the trail stretches endlessly, behind them a canvas for human resilience. Humor is no longer trivial. It is essential, allowing Bryson and Katz to navigate the unpredictable world around them and remain tethered to both courage and companionship. The Appalachian Trail reveals a truth Bryson had not fully grasped. Ambition has boundaries. Early optimism collides with reality as miles accumulate. Fatigue gnaws at resolve, hunger sharpens discomfort, and injuries test persistence. Every choice carries consequence. A misstep can lead to a twisted ankle, an overlooked path to hours lost, a misjudged river crossing to cold, wet danger. Katz pushes recklessly, insisting on shortcuts or feats of bravado, while Bryson hesitates, aware that human ambition is sometimes reckless when untempered by caution. The tension between eagerness and prudence drives the narrative. Each small success surviving a steep climb, navigating a storm, or reaching a shelter brings relief, yet underscores that perseverance must be balanced with humility. The trail humbles them with every step. Visual storytelling intensifies this lesson. Mossy slopes glisten after rain, boulders tower like ancient sentinels, and the path bends into endless unknowns. Viewers feel both exhilaration and foreboding. Mist drifts across ridges, concealing the terrain, reminding both hikers and audience that ambition must respect the unpredictability of nature. Bryson documents not just landscapes, but the internal dialogue of humans confronting their limitations. Moments of exhaustion create silent reflection. Bryson collapses on a log, gazing at a horizon stretched with forest and mountains. Katz, beside him, breathes heavily, finally quiet. The shared awareness of physical and emotional limits cements a lesson. Human ambition drives exploration, but survival demands respect for nature, for circumstance, and for one's own vulnerabilities. The trail's harshness is not punitive, but instructive. It sharpens the senses, tests the heart, and forges resilience in the crucible of challenge. By the end of the section, viewers sense that the Appalachian Trail is as much a teacher as a journey. Ambition propels Bryson and Katz forward, but humility ensures they endure. The stakes of each decision are clear, the consequences immediate, and the narrative tension tangible, keeping audiences invested in every stride, stumble, and victory along the winding path. The trail begins to change them. Bryson notices subtleties he once overlooked: the delicate curve of a fern frond, the quiet endurance of a moss-covered tree, the way light shifts over a ridge at dawn. Katz moves with renewed awareness, his usual bravado tempered by the trail's constant demands. Each step is no longer just forward motion, but a meditation on persistence, patience, and the fragility of human strength. Campsites become moments of introspection. Bryson sits on a rock above a rushing stream, journal in hand. Tracing his journey in words that cannot fully capture the sensory intensity around him. Katz, sprawled nearby, gazes at the stars, the exhaustion softening into awe. Their laughter remains, but now it mingles with contemplation. They confront questions of mortality, friendship, and what it truly means to challenge oneself. The trail's solitude amplifies inner thought. The forest seems to listen, responding only with wind, birdsong, and the occasional distant howl. Bryson reflects on his previous assumptions about endurance and adventure. Each challenge overcome reveals a new layer of capability and understanding. Not just physical, but emotional. Katz's energy, once chaotic, becomes measured. Their friendship deepens through shared vulnerability. Failures are met with support, and successes with quiet celebration. Visually, the narrative captures transformation. The camera lingers on sun-dappled valleys, fog rising from hidden hollows, and the weary but determined expressions of two travelers. Scenes of struggle scrambling over rocks, navigating slippery slopes contrast with moments of tranquility like sitting by a golden sunset-tinged river, reinforcing the balance between effort and reward. By the end of this section, the trail has done more than challenge muscles, it has reshaped perspectives. Bryson and Katz emerge transformed, aware of human limitations, yet emboldened by endurance. Viewers are drawn into this duality of vulnerability and strength, seeing that the journey's value is measured not by milestones alone, but by the evolution of mind, spirit, and connection forged along the way. A sudden storm strikes as the two near a particularly exposed ridge. The wind wails through the trees, whipping rain into their faces. Bryson's heart races. Katz grips the rocks for stability, a mixture of panic and exhilaration in his eyes. The trail has never felt more alive, more threatening, more immediate. This is not just physical danger, is the emotional apex of their journey, where fear, exhaustion, and determination collide. They scramble for shelter, boots sliding in mud, clothes soaked through, lightning flashes illuminate gnarled tree roots, deep ravines, and rushing streams, heightening tension. Bryson's internal monologue blends terror and exhilaration. He feels completely exposed, yet oddly alive, aware of every pulse of adrenaline and heartbeat. Katz cracks a nervous joke, but the laughter is sharp, almost a defiance of the elements. The storm becomes a cinematic character, shaping action, dialogue, and emotional resonance. Sheltering under a fallen tree, they catch their breath. Rain pelts overhead, but their conversation turns to reflection. Fears confronted, risks taken, and the small triumphs that define the journey. In these raw moments, vulnerability is laid bare. They are neither heroes nor legends, just humans facing nature's raw unpredictability. The audience experiences each heartbeat, each slip, each moment of triumph as the camera focuses on wet, tired faces, clasped hands, and the unspoken bond forged through shared adversity. As the storm passes, the sun breaks through the clouds, illuminating the misty forest floor. Their exhausted smiles reveal relief, gratitude, and a deep, transformative understanding. The emotional peak is not a victory lap, but a profound acknowledgement. Endurance, courage, and companionship have carried them through, shaping them in ways only the trail could. Through cinematic visuals, the flash of lightning, torrents of rain, shimmering post-storm landscapes, the audience sees both the peril and beauty of the Appalachian Trail. The emotional climax underscores the journey's ultimate lesson, confronting fear head-on, leaning on human connection, and persevering against odds creates moments of unshakable triumph. The final miles of the trail are quieter, almost reverent. Bryson and Katz move with a steady, reflective pace, bodies weary, but spirits full. Each footstep is heavy with memory, the missteps, laughter, storms, and breathtaking vistas that have defined their journey. The trail is no longer a challenge to conquer, but a story etched into every muscle, every thought, every breath. They pause on a ridge, overlooking miles of rolling forest, rivers threading through valleys like veins. Bryson records notes in his journal not merely about the terrain, but about lessons learned, the limits of ambition, the resilience of friendship, the way humor sustains the spirit, and the humility demanded by nature's vastness. Katz, leaning against a tree, reflects on the unpredictability of life and the necessity of endurance. They realize that the Appalachian Trail is more than a path, it is a mirror, reflecting human ambition, frailty, and triumph in equal measure. Throughout the journey, the duo has discovered the delicate balance between risk and wisdom, isolation and connection, struggle and reward. Their transformation is visible in gait, posture, and expression. Fatigue softened into grace, missteps tempered by patience, and laughter enriched by shared adversity. Cinematic shots capture the final panorama, forest ridges bathed in golden light, the subtle shimmer of morning dew, and two tiny figures against a vast living landscape. The emotional resonance lies not in reaching a destination, but in recognizing how far the journey has shaped them. The Appalachian Trail has imparted enduring lessons. Ambition must respect limits, courage thrives in vulnerability, and human connection amplifies resilience. As they step onto the last stretch of path, the camera lingers on their faces, tired, exhilarated, reflective, inviting viewers to internalize the same sense of accomplishment and contemplation. By the journey's close, Bryson and Katz are forever changed. The trail has tested them, revealed them, and ultimately defined them. Viewers are left with a profound understanding. Adventure is not just movement through space, but transformation within, shaped by endurance, choice, and the indomitable spirit of exploration.